Are governments fudging and not telling the country the real picture of how many people have died of corona? The E. Palanisamy government of the AIDMK in Tamil Nadu is being accused of fudging COVID casualty figures.
India Today contacted the medical officer of Stanley Hospital. He passed the buck.
The case in question is of a 50-year-old man. He died on 28th and you have signed it, as well as the other 3 officials who are needed to sign have also signed it. But the death is not being showcased in the media bulletin which was released the same day or the next following day, sir.
I don't know. I have to consult the nodal officer.
Sir, similarly on 31st also another case of a 69-year-old man. Again, it's a COVID death. It has been signed by the RMO, that is you. But again, it has not been reflected in the media bulletin reports.
You can ask the nodal officer.
The government's media bulletin listed 167 deaths in Chennai on June 4th, while the Chennai Corporation, in its zone-wise report, listed 398 deaths in the city. The opposition DMK has accused the government of fudging the numbers.
Coronavirus தொற்று ஏற்பட்டு இறந்தார்னா அத்தனை மக்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சு போயிடும். இத மறைக்கவே முடியாது.
நீங்க எல்லாம் சொன்னனால இப்போ ஒரு reconciliation committee ஒன்னு constitute பண்ணிருக்கோம். Comprising doctor from DME, doctor from DMS and from the corporation. இப்போ இருக்கிற எல்லா டெத்தையும் எடுத்து reconcile பண்ணிட்டு உங்களுக்கு correct figures கொடுக்கிறோம்.
Jairam Venkateshan is convener Arapur Iyakam, the group that has exposed some of these fudged numbers.
In both the March records, it's very clear it's COVID positive. These government hospitals directly report to the health department. So health department has this data and has not shown it to the people. That is what we are asking. And the same health department today forms a committee to do the reconciliation. So I don't know how this internal committee will even come out with the truth.
Why would a government want to hide the death figures?
You know, I'm normally both in the assembly and outside one of the more kind of tame regular speakers. Today I am telling you I am seething, I am angry, I am livid. This government is now bordering on criminal negligence. What they are doing, please let me give you with data point by data point. On April 1st, when they first started publishing their daily reports, they used to tell us how many beds were available, how many ventilators were available, which facility was where. Slowly, they stopped publishing that data. Till April 24th, they used to tell us which cases were primary, which cases were contact. Slowly, they stopped publishing that data. Till the 3rd of June, they used to say how many cases are in hospitals under the isolation wards. After June 3rd, they stopped publishing that data. After 8 weeks of my asking for it, they finally published one day on the 7th of June, a number that's not reconcilable to any other number because it doesn't match either the data at the end of 3rd June or the data at the end of 4th June. It's a number in between where they show the testing by district. When we look at the data testing by district, there's a huge discrepancy in how many thousand per million are being tested, from a low of as much as 3,000 per million in Tirupur to a high of 16,900 in Chennai. There's a huge discrepancy in the positive rate. I have been asking for 8 weeks. Tell us what is the positive rate, what are the total tests taken, so we know where the risk is. Let me ask you a fundamental question. Why do we need data? Really, we need data for only 2 things. The government needs the data to help manage the crisis better, to understand what are the resources, where are the problems, what is the situation, has it improved, has it deteriorated, how to fix it. That's the government's job. They're supposed to be transparent about it to the public so the public can assess what is happening and model their behavior and their risk management based on the reality of the situation.
But why would a government hide data? Why would a government hide data?
April, I was with you on this program.
Yes.
On that day, I said the testing is never going to be enough to do modeling. Please start looking like the rest of the world at hospitalization rates and excess death rates, because that's where you're going to see. I published an article on the 5th. I published an article on the 9th. Now here I have a smoking gun. Please look at this. This is a government order issued by this very same Health Secretary, Bila Rajesh, on the 21st of April. On the 21st of April, she constitutes a statewide committee having 18 members and a district by district committee having 15 members per district, precisely for the sake of auditing deaths. precisely for this purpose. But you see, why is it the smoking gun? Because she passes a statement in the GO. I'm reading you verbatim. Often, some deaths which are unrelated to COVID-19 are also reported as suspected COVID-19 deaths. Hence, it is necessary to ascertain the exact condition to direct the cause of death and in order to prevent the occurrence of such complications. This is a coded language to say, please reclassify the deaths, don't classify them. Have you ever heard of such a vile thing?
No,
you
one minute.
constitute a committee and you tell the committee, err on the side of not classifying it a COVID death. It is a vile, dysfunctional, criminally negligent government. It should be prosecuted for this kind of behavior.
You know,
So
that's,
my opposition
No,
to
I
paint
think-
the entire that 242 is out of COVID is nothing but pure political mileage.
Dr.
They
P-
want to create an anarchy, they want to create a chaos, and they want to get,
Okay.
they want to get a
Listen,
mileage.
No, Dr. PTR, let's be clear. No, Dr.
appreciate
PTR,
a
there is a
guy who
question.
has
No, 1
never
minute.
been a bloody
Sir, there is a
counselor
question.
who
There
has
is a
lost
question
an
over.
election
No,
and
1
won
minute,
for
sir.
200 votes, trying to tell us that it's the opposition's job to run the government. I am furious. My fellow MLA, Mr. Anbalagan, died yesterday. Mr. Anbalagan was out giving goods to everybody and died of COVID. Why don't they publish how many beds are out? Why don't they publish which places have how many?
I am asking you a simple question,
Why
sir.
did they wait till June to fix the hospital rates, to fix the entry rates, to fix
I
the
am asking you a
insurance
simple
scheme? What were they
question.
doing
Do you
for
believe
people?
all the
Sleeping
cases-
in March, April and May?
Sir,
They were sleeping.
Doctor-
Did they think that nobody would need hospitalization?
Dr.
What were they doing?
PTR, I am asking you a simple question. There could be comorbidities which may not necessarily, in some cases, the doctors may believe
Rajdeep,
they are
there
COVID
is a
sus-
clear indication from the ICMR. It says if you have cases with comorbidities, list them separately as comorbidities. If you have cases without comorbidities, list them as without. That is how the government of Tamil Nadu is reporting. After that, many cases are missing. I don't know about the 230, but certainly the expose that you showed has a medical signature saying it's COVID, and it's not listed in the government's data.
Why should the government show the death rate low? Because today the government is failing on everything else. We are seeing a rise in the number of cases. We are seeing that the contact tracing is not being done properly. The only positive thing that was there, we were all happy that the death rate was very low. But imagine that this could not be done by some doctors or some local private hospital people. We need to understand that such commands come from the top bureaucracy, and that is what the doctors and nurses are telling us, that there is pressure from the top to not report it as COVID cases and so on in the mortuary card even.
This debt business is a political thing. If the tone in the country has been politicized right from the beginning. You remember in Wuhan, they gave one figure and the global pressures, they revised it again. So, once you make a marker that the number of people who die is going to be the marker by which you judge your governance and your system, then
Right.
there is this pressure to want to change it and,
Okay, PTR, you want to show us PTR, you want to show us one final document. What is it that you want to show?
Completely disagree with Ms. Rao. I don't know what her data is. My data shows me lockdown 1.0, we were averaging less than 50 cases a day. Lockdown 2.0, we averaged 50 cases a day. Lockdown 3.0, we averaged 625 cases a day. Lockdown 4.0, we averaged 800 cases a day. First week of lockdown 5.0, we averaged 1,000 cases a day. Second week of lockdown 5.0, we are averaging 1,500 cases a day. What was the value of the lockdown? The number of positive testing was less than 1% in the first two lockdowns till end of April. Went up to about 2.5% to 3% at the end of lockdown. Went to 6.5% at the lockdown 3. Went to 8% in lockdown 4. Is north of 10% of all tests are turning positive in lockdown 5. Also, in the first 2.5 months between March 24th and May 31st, a total of 23,000 positives, 175 people died. The fatality rate was 0.76%. In the last 11 days, extra 15,000 cases have come, and another 175 cases by the government's own admission, including tonight, have passed away. The fatality rate has shot from 0.76 to 1.2% in the last 11 days.
That is still below the national average. That is still below the national average, though. But clearly,
if they've suppressed 230 cases, what does it mean?
Okay.
That means my rate is actually 2.5%.